Okay, so here's my setup. You can see down on the bottom here, here's where my concrete sump sits. All of the two tanks that I have, feed into there, and I have my four pumps that feed back. So you can see up here I have my controllers, as well as the power supplies for the Jabeos. And those are the DCP 2000s that I'm using. And as you can see here, you can read it. It looks like around 41, and that one looks like about 43 watts is all that they're using. And this is pumping 45 feet. And like I said, I estimated my head loss at around 15, 16 feet. And so what happens then is coming out of the sump here, and I don't know if the sunlight's going to bother or going to help us or not, but you can see the line here with that fitting, the long fitting, they call it a repair fitting on there. So that feeds up to the roller mat that's up there. And that one is the Clara-C, I think that's the 5000. And that one can take somewhere between 8 and 900 gallons per hour. And I'm at the limit on that. And so that feeds into there. And then there's a 40 breeder that I have sitting up top here. Let me see if I can get around. I'll get around to the other side. And well, hold up one second. My cat got in here. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I try to keep my cats out of the room. But you can see there's the upper 40 breeder, where I kind of have, let's see, I'll do it sideways. You can see it here. I have my skimmer. So there's the roller mat where the water feeds in. And then I have my skimmer that's sitting here. I also have ozone. You can see the air bubbles kind of going through that line, and that all feeds back into my skimmer. And then currently I'm dosing lithium chloride for my phosphates. And that's that yellow line that I have set up there. I set up the skimmer so I almost get a little bit of a vortex, so that when the lithium chloride drips into that, it gets sucked in there and goes right into my skimmer. And then I also have up top here, so there's the ozone. Let's flip back. There's my ozone setup, and then I also have my one of two algae scrubbers. So this is actually the second algae scrubber I just set up. And then down below there is the first algae scrubber that I've had running. But I've noticed my nitrates have been going up slightly, and so I wanted to install the second one in there. And then there's, you can see here on the back side, I was talking about this yesterday. So this is that FijiQ overflow that's on that 40 breeder. But then what I do is on the main one with the gate valve, that feeds into the lower 40 breeder, but the secondary drain as well as the emergency, they feed right down into the pit. So I figured, it works. I didn't, normally everything, from a bean overflow flows back into the same spot, but, it doesn't have to be that way in this case since I have the multiple sumps. And then the lower 40 breeder has a set of, this one I bought, and the guy had previously put these bulkheads and stuff into it, and then those three, as you can see here, also feed back down into the pit. So the upper one, upper 40 breeder feeds the lower goes down into the pit. But then, like I said, I want to get rid of pretty much I have this whole rack of stuff that's up here. I pretty much want to clean this up, and what I want to do is I'm going to replace both of these 40 breeders with just a Trigger sump. I got the Trigger Platinum 39, which will fit in this space that's over here where these guys are now. And then what'll happen is that one can handle up to 3,000 gallons per hour on a flow rate. And so what I want to do is I want to get my flow rate up coming out of my sump for my skimmer, for my ozone. And that Trigger has a built-in roller mat. It has a big 10-inch roller mat that's built into it. So what I'm going to need to figure out is basically how to turn that sump into a giant overflow. And so I need to figure out how to drill it to you know, and allow the water once it gets in here to come out. I don't want to use a separate pump to pump water back because there's always a case of a failure. If that pump fails, then that sump's going to overflow onto the floor here. So like I said, what I want to do, and I don't think it'll be that difficult. I'm going to set it up in the garage and run it, and I'm going to figure out where to drill. It's an expensive sump, so I'm going to test out with some tubs and stuff first, and then figure out where, how exactly to drill that over the trigger sump, like I said, to make it into a giant overfly. So I think that was the bulk of what we were talking about yesterday. So I'm hoping that this kind of clarifies, you know, what we were talking about. In the meantime, I could also show you I got a freshwater over there that's right now cycling. Doesn't look too good. There's lots of hair algae in that one. I have a 60 gallon that's over here. That's actually going to go away when I put that new sump in. All the fish from this are going to go into, I have a new tank in my game room. I can show you that. I'm upgrading, and so this tank will actually go away, and all of the inhabitants in here will go into that new tank. And then in this space that I have, so I have a sink over here, and then this space that I have over on this side, right now, again, it's kind of storage and stuff, but I ordered up a 36 by 24 by 21 that's going to be a freshwater in this space, and then the racks themselves, whatever pieces and stuff, are going to go over this way where the 60 gallon sits right now. But you can see I also have other equipment. I got all my GHL stuff there. I also have my storage. I happen to have these two indents that were, this room was supposed to be for the air conditioners, and they had these, this would have been their plenum chambers. So that's my mixed water. And then over on this side is my RO water. And I got tanks to basically fit that space. So even though I have an 8 by 10 room, I have these two 24-inch kind of square indents that I was able to hide these tanks in to get them off of the space in the floor. And then over this way, you can see, I'll show you, there's my, that's a 130 gallon tank that's going to get upgraded to about a 200. That tank is a 60 by 24 by 21. The new tank is going to be 60 by 36 by 21. Actually, it's sitting in my garage right now. It just came yesterday. And then there's my bigger tank with the cardboard. I'm waiting for a guy to come and finish off. And that tank is a 70 by 36 by 24 high tank. And again, both of those feed under the ground, or you know, through the concrete to come over into the fish room. So hopefully this helps. If you have more questions, let me know.